Hello and welcome to Fantasy Gate. I'm Jonathan,
Jeffrey.
and today we'd like to talk about how we got into the fantasy genre.
Well, for me, it was a blend. There was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone when it first came out, and there was, ironically, Final Fantasy VIII.
Good game.
Oh yeah.
So for me, it was when I started. Uh, my earliest memory of any kind of movie or fantasy or anything. My father introduced me to Star Wars at the age of 4.
Yep.
Uh,
Start them early.
Yep, I woke up one summer and my dad was sitting there watching this movie and I had no idea what it was. And I walked in just as Darth Vader comes through the door on the Tantive 4, and I was hooked from then on.
Not a bad way to get hooked.
Yeah, uh, from there it just kind of spiraled. Uh,
I'll say it spiraled. I helped put together bookcases.
I know, right? What would you say was your favorite fantasy moment growing up?
Fantasy moment. Ooh, it's a lot of good ones. Would have to be when I read Aragon for the first time. That was
I
that
feel you on
that
that one.
whole book.
It's a phenomenal book.
Oh yeah.
We will probably actually be reviewing that one in our next video. Not 100% sure yet. We're still playing around with it. Um, for me personally, I think my biggest one was in Empire Strikes Back. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. I can't
First of
imagine
all,
why.
first of all, if you're watching this video and you haven't seen it yet, pause it here. We'll wait. You've seen it. Now,
Uh, the best moment for me was the moment when Darth Vader is revealed to be Luke's father. As a 4-year-old, that shook me to my core.
just chef's kiss.
Yes. Now it would be considered a
Cliche.
yeah,
A trope.
cliche. Yeah. But that was the initial moment, and I remember pausing it and asking my father how that worked. And he looked at me, and the prequels had not come out yet. And he looked at me and he goes, "We'll discuss it when you're older."
But we got to give credit to the prequels too, because when Darth Maul first appeared with the double saber,
Oh my
oh,
gosh, yes. Just
perfect.
that moment, the first blade lights up, and then the second, and just chills. The movie theaters went
Wild.
wild. Now, obviously, I am a massive Star Wars fan, but there's more than more
Just the movies.
just the movies. I am a huge fan of the old expanded universe.
Something I want to address right quick. To those of you thinking you want to get a collection of the entire EU, do this on your own. Do not trouble your friends to help you build countless bookshelves, please. And thank you.
No, no, make them build the bookshelves. uh, Small story related to that. We spent, what was it, 3 days?
3 days putting together the bookshelf, and then I had to go behind you and Brandon to paint it myself because y'all left just massive gaps in the paint.
Well, that wasn't even what I was considering. I was thinking the countless amount of books that had to be chronologically ordered and
Which isn't a problem until he gets more in that you then have to take out 95% of what you've already put in.
there's like 3 more books coming in this week.
Silence.
Oh, but other things that really peaked for me was Lord of the Rings. I saw the movies before I read the books, actually.
Really?
Yes,
Huh.
I was 11 years old, 11 or 12, something like that, when the first movie came out, Fellowship of the Ring.
Yep.
And as you know, for the most part, I was kind of sheltered as a younger child.
I'll say.
And I really had no interest in it. From the previews, I thought it was some kind of horror movie. I didn't know. Okay? And I had a friend at the time, I'm not going to say people's names because we are no longer friends, who was hanging out over at the house right when it came out on DVD. And he wanted to watch it. And I was like, you can watch it, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to sit over here and do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I started paying attention about the time they entered Moria. And then I was just hooked. And within 3 days, I think I watched it from beginning to end probably 8 times.
Now, are we talking about theatrical release? Or
Theatrical
direct?
release. This was right after it came
Okay.
out. I don't think the director's cut came out till after Return of the King was out.
True.
But I did not actually read the books, believe it or not. See, I hated reading as a kid. Flat out. I want to say I was 15 or 16 when I read my first, like, thick novel. And that was Aragon.
Yeah.
But I was...
Now, tell them how you got into the book first.
So, me and my cousin, she's about 5 years older than I am, she wanted to take me to go see a movie.
Yep.
And, you know, nothing was really out that either of us had any major interest in. And I saw the commercial for the Aragon movie. And I was like, this looks like it would be interesting. Had never read the book, never even heard about it. And so we went to theaters, saw it, and we loved it. Loved it. We went back and saw it 2 more times in theaters. And then I did not have a driver's license at the time, so my grandmother picked me up later that weekend, and we were walking around in I think it was Walgreens or Eckerd's or something like that. It was a drugstore.
Yeah.
And not a sponsor, by the way. And we were walking through, and they had the paperback that had the movie cover on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I begged and pleaded with my grandmother for me to get it, and all of my family knew I had no interest in reading. So the thought that I wanted this book that wasn't but about $3 to $5, she was like, okay, why not? And to see a child who absolutely hates to read sit down and read that particular book cover to cover in 2 days,
Yep.
that totally changed it. I read it cover to cover in 2 days, then went back and reread it, and I read it until pages started falling out of the paperback.
Yep.
Because, like I said, I didn't like to read. I didn't really care about books. I was the one bending the cover all the way around.
Oh, I would have hit you.
Oh, I know you would have. I would have hit me now.
Never do that to a book.
I know. But, I just kept reading it and kept loving it. And, when I went back home, well, the first time that I read it through, I went home, and my father was very, very surprised that we walked in the door. I sat down on the couch, turned on the lamp, and started reading.
Yeah.
And I sat there. He finished cooking dinner, and my mom got home from work, and I said, hang on, I've got 10 pages left of this book. Can I finish it before we eat? And I kid you not, I have not seen their jaws about hit the ground since then. And they were like, yeah, sure. And I finished it, and my dad was like, okay, I hope that was a good book. I was like, yeah, I'm going to read it again tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I went to school the next day, he picked it up and he read half of it. And the next day he finished it off. And I think that he said that he was buying the second book so that I could continue the series.
It was for him.
I'm pretty sure it was for him. How was it for you the first read through?
Well, I was at a lower point in my life. I was bullied a lot in middle school when I read it. It was a great way to escape, I'll give you that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just the feeling of going from like, well, I'm not gonna do
Yeah,
it right now.
we'll save that for the next video.
Yeah. But I mean, just getting into fantasy in general, I think the biggest draw is that it gives us a way to get out of
Our heads.
yeah. We kind of start to spiral, and depression was and anxiety was always a major thing for me as a kid. And though it was movies, like I said, I didn't like to read as a kid. Movies, video games, it was all fantasy based because that magic element that is in all fantasy, whether it's the Force in Star Wars, magic in Aragon, the loose magic system in Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
Harry Potter with
Ooh.
it's all magic. They very much are integral to being able to separate it from reality.
Yes.
And so it gives you a chance to break free of reality and be able to visit your own kind of world.
Yeah.
And what I find very interesting about fantasy, and this is me personally, I don't know if anybody else does this, I'm probably a weirdo.
I mean, you eat dry sandwiches, so we know you're a psychopath.
There is nothing wrong with a dry sandwich as long as there's tomatoes on it.
It's dry.
Not with the
You
tomatoes.
psychopath.
Okay, we are not talking about food habits here, sir. Uh, oh, but I like to, like when I go to bed and that kind of thing, I take whatever those fantasy story elements, whatever's in my head, and I create my own stories.
Yep.
And whether it's canon or not, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's why I like being a DM so much.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I think that's why fanfics are so popular.
oh yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, I love world building. That's a good way to put it.
No, you love world building. Then your players decide, we don't like this. We're gonna do something you have in the system to completely change it, and you're like, magic no longer works here.
But it's neither here nor there, sir. Oh no, but our intro to fantasy was very similar. Kind of coming back around to
Yeah.
where we started.
Yep.
We probably should have called this channel ADHD and D. Oh.
But yeah, this video was just to let y'all know, how we got started in the genre. A lot of you out there may not actually be in the genre, but might be interested in trying it out. Books are a great way to start. Video games, whatever you have access to.
Movies.
Oh yeah, definitely movies.
I think even people who say that they're not big fantasy fans can go back and look through
And find at least one.
yeah, at least one.
Because let's be honest, if we're talking about the first fantasy movie most of us saw, it was either Never Ending Story
Oh, the horse.
or Indian in the Cupboard.
Oh gosh, that takes me back.
Yep.
Our age is showing.
Sir, I am 18 years old.
Okay, well,
Alright, I think we're gonna call it here before we start ripping into each other.
absolutely.
Y'all have a great night.
Be safe. Don't do anything we wouldn't do.
That does not limit it in the slightest.
Yeah. Night.
Night.